Hello, boys and girls. You're now listening to Peter Talks Wrestling With. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, go back and listen to Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, the Raw review from Newark, New Jersey, where I had my friend Alexis Feldman. So it's, definitely a good female perspective on the world of wrestling. So if you haven't listened to it already, go back and listen to it. And right now, it is Friday, and I like to welcome back Peter Talks Wrestling With favorite Nathan, aka at Headliner5 on Twitter. How's it doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, dude.
I can't complain. It's been a crazy week. I'm glad it's the weekend because after the last weekend that I had, I needed another weekend to recover from it. So explain, because I remember we've been because we do this every 2 weeks. But you took one of those weeks off to head off to Las Vegas. Correct. I went to. What happened was me and two of my buddies were gonna go.
Go where? What did you do?
Go to Vegas, and we were gonna stay at the New
Why
Orleans
did you go to Vegas?
Casino. We went to Vegas for the Ring of Honor 13th anniversary show.
Thank you.
But what ended up happening, I was going to try to explain the whole story within a limited amount of time, but we were supposed to go with 3 people, and a buddy of mine that was supposed to go with us is in the National Guard. He texted me the night before we were supposed to go and said that he couldn't go because he had to go to Arizona. And he was the one who planned this whole had the idea to originally do this thing. And then the Orleans Hotel and Casino was where the event was happening. So we got to meet the entire ROH roster, the guys that we hadn't met before, because they were all there. Everywhere you turn, there was a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only a 3-star hotel, so my dumb friend didn't want to stay there because he's a diva and likes things 5-star. So I told him to screw off. I said
shit.
He didn't want. And then we didn't want to. He didn't want to fly Sun Country Airlines because he said they sucked. So it's like if he would have went, he would have been whining and complaining the entire time. So it's almost better that he didn't go. Plus, I got to hang out I'm through the Elite Podcast Network with Eyes on the Ring. And there's another show called Wrestling Heads Radio that that is on Mondays. And I got to hang out with 2 guys from from that show. So me and my buddy Joe hung out with 2 guys from the Elite Podcast Network the whole weekend. So it was pretty fun. And had he gone, we wouldn't have been able to do all that shit. So
is there heat right now?
No, there's not. But we're kind of pissed because it was his idea and then he flaked on us and whatnot. So, but we're fine. But if the bottom line is if he ever says, hey, let's do this or let's do this, I'm not going to trust him. And so,
right.
but
will he be listening to this podcast? I mean, I'm saying, have y'all spoke since?
No, he won't.
Okay.
If he was, I wouldn't say this much, but me and the guy that went to Vegas, we're planning on going to Reseda. That's going to be our next one for PWG. And then we're going to go, the next one after that would be Philadelphia for Shikara. Because he really likes them, I don't, but I will go just to humor him. So
you went to Las Vegas to check out this ROH 13th anniversary thing.
Yes.
Were you getting any work in? Did you get any interviews, or are you just kind of kicking it?
No, I did. I was a correspondent for Eyes on the Ring. I did all the live tweeting and stuff like that, but I didn't I didn't do any interviews. I did a podcast Sunday night with Eyes on the Ring after the show got off the air. I went to my hotel room and went on the show for about 30 minutes. during a 3-hour show just to give them a recap of what happened.
But you didn't get the opportunity to talk to any wrestlers. I mean, like.
No, I did.
Well, I'm talking about put a mic in their face or put a phone in their face.
No. I'm not like that. I don't like invading people's privacy like that. So,
that's not a matter. You mean if you ask them?
Yeah, but I'm not the person to ask and get an on-the-spot interview. I like to more plan things out.
I hear you.
So like, we're trying to get Cedric Alexander on the show. Then there's openings to get other people on the show. We just haven't done it yet. But I would rather do that through the show and not just me, because I'm terrible at interviewing people because I stop and start all the time and don't necessarily know what the fuck I'm talking about half the time. So
check this out. I'm listening to the I'm not listening. I'm watching it right now. I think we were talking last night. I got up to Whitman, BJ Whitman, whatever the fuck his name is.
Whitmer,
DJ
Whitmer.
Okay, Whitmer versus Roderick Strong. I'm up to there. So far, I mean, I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. If you were to just give like out of 10 rating and things that stood out that would give a reason for someone to actually go and check out that iPay-per-view. Was it a regular pay-per-view or iPay-per-view?
It was a regular pay-per-view.
Just someone who wanted to go.
They also had it available on iPay-per-view for a discounted price, I think. But it was an iPay-per-view and
okay.
It was
Check
regular pay-per-view.
Check it out. All right. Talk about the reason why someone should go order the pay-per-view or catch it online. Matches that stood out to you, and the feeling you left leaving the actual event.
Okay, give me a second. Because I want to make sure my thoughts correspond with the review that I wrote.
Well, you don't have to go into the review. Just give No,
hey. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna.
I don't want you to talk for 30 minutes about it. I want you to just say something.
No, I'm not going to. But okay, the first match was Cedric Alexander versus Matt Sydal. That was probably the match of the night, and it's crazy to think that because they set the pace pretty high. So if the match of the night is the first match, then you can tell off the bat that it's going to be a good show. So I would recommend watching that match. Second match was Jay Briscoe Moose. It wasn't very good. AJ Styles and ACH. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was really, really good. Definitely go check that out. They meshed very well together. It was a high-paced match from the bell. They didn't let up at all until the finish, and they kicked out of everything. The match was bonkers and insane, and it was really good. I would recommend that one. And then the Young Bucks versus Red Dragon for the tag team titles.
Oh, that's what
It was a rematch from their. Did you see their match at War of the Worlds?
But at what?
It was Ring of Honor's War of the Worlds from last year. It was on. It was in May of last year.
I did get to see it.
Okay, that match was phenomenal. This match was phenomenal too, but it probably wasn't as good as their match at War of the Worlds. Like, I would give their match at War of the Worlds an easy 5 stars, but I only gave this one 4 3/4, which isn't bad, but and like I said, the match was really, really good. It was probably the match, give or take, that I enjoyed the most, because I was the most hyped to see that match because of what they did at War of the Worlds. So, and I was glad I got to see that live. I'm not a huge fan of the Young Bucks, and I probably never will be, but they can wrestle. I will give them their due. That match was awesome. But usually when I like one of their matches, it's because of the people that they face. So there's that. Just to wrap that part up so we can move on to the thing. Just recently in Winston-Salem, I was at this thing called PWX. And it's funny because the Young Bucks were there, and Cedric Alexander was there, and that was pretty badass to get somebody from there.
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
We interviewed their owner for Eyes on the Ring, so a couple of the guys from Eyes on the Ring live up there or live in Baltimore. So
Yeah, I just thought it
Yeah, I
was
know
cool.
exactly
They didn't
what you're
really get the Bucks. It was a short match. They showed up with the New Japan belts, tag team belts, and it was pretty
Yeah.
awesome to see them like with that. But what was it? What I was about to say? It was kind of a short match. They weren't really able to get into uh, like what we would know of the Young Bucks. But the Cedric Alexander, he headlined for the championship, and that was like brutal. I was just like, because I'm a fan of Cedric Alexander, and apparently he's going through
Oh my.
he's like going through a heel sort of change right now. And
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with him. Like Ring of Honor's like doing a bunch of weird crap with him, and it's like,
well, they're making him whiny.
yeah,
And what they were doing with PWX was like, you had a couple of marks up front talking about, he was just a part-time champion or what have you, and he was sort of feeding off that, and it ended up, he was getting booed. I was cheering for him because I'm like, I didn't know he had turned heel, but he ended up retaining the PWX championship, and he cut a promo about how, when I was chasing this belt, all you guys were behind me, and now that I have it, you're all against me, so fuck y'all, basically. So
yeah.
I didn't know if it was something that was going to sort of carry over into
No, I think it has, because they're doing the whole like he can't beat anybody, or he's coming up short a lot of the time.
But they've been running off that for like a year now.
But he's been showing verbal and like physical frustration throughout his losing of matches, and every time he loses, it gets more and more. It used to be subtle, now it's more and more. It's like you see it, so you know that something's going on. They're obviously trying to tell a slow burn story.
Well, I watched the PWG pay-per-view just recently, and he was in a match, and I'm trying to remember if he won it or not. No, he fought. Oh, he lost to Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh man, but he just won a PWG. No, he didn't. He actually lost to Adam Cole. Okay. So
Alberto El Patron versus Jay Lethal was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good for what it was. I gave it 3 stars. The match I did want to mention was the main event. When I went to this show, I was most looking forward to it. Or this was the match I was most looking forward to, and I was pleasantly disappointed. This match did not work. It was a huge mess.
Oh, wow.
And I heard that Tommaso Ciampa got injured during the match, which meant that they had to basically turn a 4-person match into a 3-person match, and then have Tommaso do what he could do on the limited movements that he could make. So, but it was just an overbooked mess. It was something you would see from TNA.
Oh, wow.
Jay Briscoe retained the title. It was just weird. And it kind of pissed me off because, like I said, this is the match I was most looking forward to, and it didn't deliver.
So it seems there was like two situations that sort of was kind of screwy, because that 3-way tag match where Machine Gun Kelly,
Machine Gun Carl Anderson. His partner Doc Gallows he had flight issues, so he couldn't make it out.
Yeah. Ooh.
So
not good for a pay-per-view. You want to have those things sort of ironed out before
they worked that one out, and frickin' Carl Anderson's a class act, and he took the pin, and he took all the heat in that match. So
yeah, he did.
I commend him for that. So, and then also the last thing I wanted to mention is that Shayna Baszler was there, and she, if you know who she is, she's an MMA women's fighter. She accompanied Red Dragon to the ring, and also Jessamine Duke was there, which pisses me off because she's my favorite MMA women's fighter, and I'm mad that I didn't get to meet her. But hopefully when I go to PWG, I'll be able to.
All right, let's move on to what's been going on since we haven't talked. And I guess, if anything, to start it off, is Fastlane, the last WWE pay-per-view. And basically what it boils down to, I guess, out of all the storylines that's going on, you have 2 that stood out significantly. You have basically the Rusev Cena thing, and him basically passing out him passing out during the match, which means that Rusev, retains the belt. It's another loss for Cena at a pay-per-view, and he's trying to, I guess, in storyline on Raw, what have you, they're trying to push this to WrestleMania or something, and this whole thing where Rusev is turning him down. But nevertheless, it's Cena losing at another pay-per-view, even though it's a throwaway. And then they have him passing out, not necessarily give up, but pass out. That's one thing. And then the match between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, where basically Roman Reigns goes over really clean. What is your thoughts on both of those scenarios?
Can you repeat that last question?
Well, like both scenarios, like you got John Cena losing another
and
then Roman Reigns basically moving on clean to face Brock Lesnar, and what's to be expected of this?
Well, okay, they're obviously never going to do Cena Reigns, which I think they should do because it might be able to get Reigns ready a little bit more. But Cena and Rusev was really good.
It was good.
I was kind of surprised at how good it actually was.
You were really surprised.
Yes. I mean, I knew it was going to be good. I didn't think it was going to be that freaking good.
Yeah.
And then I lost my shit when Rusev won. And I'm surprised he won, like, the way he did. Like, I figured it was going to be a DQ finish. Like, that's what I had predicted, that someone was going to get DQ'd, and that way we could continue this on to WrestleMania. Because the way it ended, with Rusev winning so dominantly, I don't think it should end or go till WrestleMania, but I think it's going to, only because Cena's gonna want to get his revenge.
Well, here's the thing: he didn't win that dominantly. He had to kick him in the nuts. What the referee had seen was that he basically put his ass in the Cobra Clutch. I love that sequence of him breaking out and still putting him in it. It looked like a real struggle. Yeah, but like you just had this one-on-one match that went to the T, and it took one moment where as a heel should cut corners to win, and that's how it played out. Now, what's happening in the storyline now is Cena wants a rematch, and Rusev's like, no, I'm not giving you a rematch. What? Because you're the great Cena. I'm supposed to give you your rematch? I ain't giving you no damn rematch.
That's good, because usually when a face asks a heel for a rematch, they make the heel look stupid and automatically accept. So I'm glad that they're making Rusev at least look like a heel and maintain his heel presence by image by not accepting the match right away.
Well, at the same time, having the cards in his cards stacked in his corner. Like, that's the thing.
At this point, Cena's going to have to do something to piss Rusev off in order for him to accept the match.
Well, basically,
that's the way I see it going.
And when I was talking about, you would take a heelish move to gain an advantage to make, basically extort him out of the thing. And I'm like, what is he going to do? Abduct Lana? Now, what's just happening recently, and this may play into some shit. Lana and Edge had just signed to do a movie very soon during the build to WrestleMania. I have this idea that it's going to be, I like to see how it plays out, but she has to get off TV for a while. And it's going to be because of Cena. But
I don't like the way they're going to do that, because I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about this the other day. They're a PG product, and in order for her to get off TV, in order for them to accomplish what they're going to do, Cena's going to have to attack her.
Oh, she's going to have to take a bump.
And that's not, she can. I've heard she's been training, but it doesn't mean how good of a bump she'll be able to take.
Oh, but you're saying if Cena has to attack her, that means he's going to have to turn heel, which is not even the question.
No, I know that. Because if he's beating up a woman on a PG product, it's not really going to look that well. So I don't know. They've kind of, if they want to get Lana off TV, they're gonna have to figure out a better way to do it, because that is not the way to go.
I mean,
but that, like, automatically when I heard or read that, I'm like, they're gonna have Cena attack her, aren't they?
I don't even think Cena's gonna go anywhere near her. I see a non-title match between, say, him and like another big dude, right? And it's gonna be like a good match, toe to toe, and she's gonna try to pull off getting on that apron again, right? And rather than it being so successful to where, you know, it distracts the ref, I think they're gonna do a spot where this larger dude, say it be Ryback, say it be, you know, what big baby face, say it anybody, knocks her ass, ends up, you know, hitting the ropes and knocking her ass off and fucking her.
I could see Rusev inadvertently hitting her.
That too.
That's the only thing I could see, because Cena's not going to... Or Cena even accidentally doing it, because they're not going to have it where Cena straight up knowingly, like, hits a woman. They're not going to do that, because it's a PG product and it would look like shit, and it would be something better suited for the Attitude Era, which sucked anyway.
But here's the thing. It would have to be... They would have to... Because if you're talking about him taking... And this is the what do you call it? The... waters, like the sketch. It's a slippery slope in order to pull off a thing where I'm gonna fight in the honor of Lana being out. You know, I accept your challenge and I'm gonna dedicate this win to Lana. This can be, I don't know, it could be something where, depending on what kind of bump she take, Rusev can fuck around and do become babyface. They can do a double turn, you know, where Cena's like, fuck her, you know, like blah 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 blah. But either way, it's good to know that, you know, you take this storyline as one of the best storylines, it's top 3, I like to think, storylines that's going on, because it's unpredictable. You know, I knew that Cena wasn't gonna fucking have that belt, and that's the predictable part. But
no, he's gonna win it at Mania.
I don't think I
guarantee it.
He's not gonna win that belt. He's not gonna win. He's not.
Trust me, he's gonna end the streak. He's gonna be the one to beat Rusev for the very first time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And he's gonna win the belt.
That it's gonna be a non-title match, and it's just for pride and for the USA kind of bullshit. And
well, if it's a non-title match, that's fine. But Cena still is gonna win. But with the narrative that they're telling for this match, and with the character that Rusev has, it's gonna be for the belt.
We'll have to see.
There's no way around.
We'll have to see. I mean, I don't know definitely for sure. No one knows, and I think
I don't either. I'm just speculating.
No. I'm just saying that's the good thing apart. That's the good thing apart about like this storyline, that it's really unpredictable. And now you know it's finalized. It's final that Roman Reigns will face. That he's supposed to face Brock at WrestleMania 31.
He's going to face Brock. He will.
I know, but I only side like that because out of sarcasm to all these speculations that this whole shit going on with Brock Lesnar as of late, you know. So, but so you're like, so you take someone like Jake, who's very just like bummed out about it. I mean, he's bummed. Are you still bummed? Are you still hungover? You know, is it still kind of like heartache, breakup, first week of breakup?
I'm still mad at it, but in order to enjoy wrestling the way I do, I have to take something negative and try to see the positive in it. So, I mean, I want Roman to succeed, even though I don't necessarily like the guy. I want him to impress me. So, but we'll see where that goes. I've read a lot of reports that suggest that this Brock Lesnar, or this upcoming Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match, might be worse than Brock Lesnar Goldberg.
Talking about the lame duck? You think people? We talked about this last time. Would people see if Brock Lesnar? Because I don't see him leaving, but people would see that. Because how could you lame duck a match that you don't even know that he's leaving or not?
I don't think they're going to do that. I think what's going to happen is they're going to get in the ring and the fans are going to shit all over Brock Lesnar because they know that he's leaving.
But no one knows he's leaving. It was known for a fact during that Goldberg match that both of them were leaving, so they shat on it. But like everything's up in the air. No one knows he's gonna leave. It's all speculation. No one knows definitely. There's no
But still,
contract
given
signings,
wrestling
nothing.
fans and how fickle they are, speculation, it doesn't matter. They can speculate all they want. They're still gonna boo him as if they're leaving. If he's leaving, it depends, because it's in Santa Clara, California. It depends on how smarky the town is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like that's a pretty groovy town. I don't see them being assholes.
That's all. It all depends on how smarkish they are. Because like when that Brock Lesnar Goldberg match happened, you have to remember that happened in Madison Square Garden in the middle of New York City. And that's why that match got shat all over.
And at the same time, Brock Lesnar wasn't as big a star as he is today.
Yeah. And those fuckers didn't even give that match a chance.
Yeah. But at the same time, let's just say Brock Lesnar was as big as even leaving. He was as big as a star, because he's a household name now. He, and he has an unmatched.
Well, he was a 3-time champion at the time of this match, but he wasn't like as big as he is now, because he didn't like what made him really big in my eyes as far as like mainstream appeal is his run in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean,
if he hadn't had that and he had just took time off, went to the NFL, and came back to UFC or to WWE, he'd have a completely different gimmick. He'd be wearing the same shit that he wore in his first run, and they wouldn't be able to present him as a badass like they do now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would be like completely different.
So I think you take this, if anything, it'd be a disapproval of Reigns just being there. But I don't know, man. The last couple of weeks, Reigns been doing an awesome job in the ring. And this is what we were talking about before. Pedigree, we're talking about the idea of possibly Bray Wyatt facing The Undertaker. It's like, well, you have to take in consideration the pedigree, and you have to trust the pedigree. He's still lacking in mic skills because he's not good at remembering his lines. I don't think he's bad at talking as much as he is just bad at remembering his lines, and him trying to focus on speaking his lines.
Who, Bray Wyatt?
No, Roman Reigns. I was just making a comparison.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But in-ring ability, the stuff he's been doing over the past couple of weeks has been pretty amazing. And hopefully we got 3 more weeks. He could get back in the ring and just wow everyone with his natural ability to wrestle. It's too. You can say it's too soon, this, that, but man, I'm on Team Pedigree, definitely.
I still say he needs another year.
Yeah, I mean, but we're not getting another year.
No, I know that.
The only thing, this is what I was talking with Alexa, was the fact that the only thing that would cut off his run is how he reacts to the heat he gets from the crowd. Because last Raw, he was walking down the, doing the basic, and, him coming down the stands, and a guy kind of pat him on the back. I don't know whether the guy said something, but he gave him like the death glare. And I just go, yo, you can't be doing that. I mean, we know
the fan patted him on the back.
Yeah, but everyone pats him on the back.
I hate that.
But everyone pats him. But everyone pats him on the back when he comes down.
Wrestler.
That's the whole idea of him coming down, is that he's one with the people. He's a badass. Whatever. I don't know. But this one guy.
Yeah, but still, you don't. As a fan, you don't touch somebody. That's stupid.
But I think it's. I used to think that way, but it's kind of part of it. But nevertheless, that's not the important part. The important part is that one fan, because he still got patted as he walked down, but that one fan got a death glare. I mean, it was something to behold, and I just hope that's not something that he's going to have really get to him. And if he lashes out on a fan or something like that, that would be something that would cause his deep push. Not on like some CM Punk shit where a guy actually did assault him. I'm just saying, like, a guy just saying, hey man, you suck, and him just basically like Superman punching his ass in the stands, breaking kayfabe like a real shoot.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we'll see moving forward. I'm looking forward to the WrestleMania main event. I am. I'm not so much the rest of the card, so to speak, because it's kind of shaping up all weird. Because
I'm the exact opposite. I'm gonna watch, like, I'm literally thinking of watching the whole show, and then once the main event happens, just shutting it off. because that's how much I just don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably watch it because I might as well, but I'm just saying it's like I just do not care about this main event.
I do.
The match I'm most looking forward to is this ladder match that just got announced. So,
See, I'm not though. I mean, it just because right now it's being booked so cartoony, and it's like
wrestling is a cartoon, man.
No, but like it's one thing to be cartoon. It's one thing to be cartoony. And the way they've been doing that whole IC belt and even the last sequence from the last Raw. I mean, me and Alexa was talking about this. Is like, you could put the Benny Hill music behind it. And everyone's just chasing down and taking the belt from each other, and and then even the way that panned off, when Daniel Bryan was on the celebrating on the announce table, and then it ends with Dolph Ziggler standing on top of the ladder with the IC belt, and them just going back and forth. It didn't say, it was more or less foreshadowing. I guess I didn't watch SmackDown last night, so maybe it was foreshadowing that this match would happen, but hey, I'll just see how it goes on. I'm not happy that Bryan is in such of a match because of his injury. It's a scary thing. Even his match with Harper was very scary.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was you or somebody else, but someone pointed out the fact that him being a ladder match, or being in a ladder match, so close to coming back from injury that almost put him out forever, isn't the smartest idea.
We'll see, dude. We will see, because I think they're just testing the waters of his limits. If you saw that Harper
match, and it's probably going to scare the shit out of me, because I'm going to be watching him the whole time to make sure he doesn't explode or whatever, because
I do that now.
The whole situation is just weird to me.
And then I think like 2 weeks ago he went for like a flying headbutt, and I was just like, no.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But either way, let's move on to the next topic. And one of the bigger news that's happened since we haven't spoke is Alberto Del Rio, now known as Alberto El Patron. He debuted on Lucha Underground. Have you seen any of his stuff?
Yes, he did.
Have you seen any of the stuff that he's done on Lucha Underground yet? Oh, I guess, well...
Yes, I have. I've never missed an episode, and I don't plan to anytime soon. He wrestled Tejano this last week, and that match was awesome.
See, and that's the thing. I need to go back. I imagine after I'm done uploading all of this shit and getting everything packaged up, I was going to catch up on Lucha Underground. Kudos to Del Rio. I mean, he's made himself, like, I don't know, more, I want to say bigger, but he's definitely made himself more popular over the past couple of weeks since he's, a couple of months since he's left or got ousted by WWE on some really shady circumstances.
Yeah. I'm glad he got out. It's a blessing in disguise for him that he got released from WWE, because the guy's doing great now. And then, like, when he was in WWE, a lot of people said that he was a good wrestler, but he didn't have great charisma. Whereas in WWE, you need charisma to, they said he had good charisma, but that he was a bland wrestler. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he's a great wrestler, and he has really good charisma. So, and now that he's in a company like Lucha Underground and like Ring of Honor, he can show what he can do more, and you can appreciate it more.
What hurt him for me, because he was always facing Sheamus. And I think it was the blandness of having to see that match over and over and over again. And plus, he was on the path to being like one of the biggest heels in the company. And then they stripped him of everything that made him stand out, right? They took away the
stripped him of the cars. They stripped him of everything.
They stripped him of Ricardo Rodriguez. And it just like, he kind of became like a Mexican patriot. I was like, well, that's not gonna work as much as, say, if you were like, from the Soviet Union or something like that. I was just like, and then I was just over him. You're gonna make him into not a big deal, then I'm gonna react to him as not of a big deal. And That's basically happened, I think, across the board. And now the situation he's in now, he's able to get fresh matches. He's able to be a little more elaborate with his character because he's not under like creative blanket. Um, I don't know. I think it's gonna work out for the best of him. Best for him. I know
Yeah.
WWE is going to keep an eye on him. Never say never in the world of wrestling.
He's not going to come back.
I mean,
He'll
no.
never come
I'm not
back.
saying he's not going to come back. I'm saying that he's not going to come back.
No.
They got their eye on him. You're gonna be an idiot to not think that they don't have an eye on him. And there's a possibility. There could be a possibility, like way down the road, that he could probably return. But what works in his favor is that he will have all the cards stacked in his favor, because he'll be able to walk in. He's like, look, this is what I've been doing. I don't need you guys. If I sign, I want this amount of money. I want this amount of creative control, and I think it could be something good. It could be something great. Especially if he came back as babyface.
See, I don't want him to come back there. I enjoy guys more outside of WWE than I do inside of WWE.
Yeah.
Because they're allowed to do more. It's like, even if you watch NXT, the wrestlers in NXT, mainly the women, are able to do more things, and then once they get to the main roster, they're told, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that."
But we all know
what I mean?
why. We don't need to go into a whole, thing about why that's. We just know that's just a given.
No, I know
it's
that.
It's gonna take a certain person to step down and have another person take over for all those things to make change. But here's the thing, that's just it. And then I want these wrestlers to get more exposure, and I want them to get a bigger paycheck. And that's what the WWE offers. It offers the biggest platform in the world as an in-ring performer. Whether you're like a comic gimmick, whether you're a chicken shit heel, whether you're a diva that gets 3 seconds of match time, doesn't matter. You still get the same big paycheck. And I'm always on the side of that. But you take a guy to caliber in the future for ADR, very much like, say, just throwing it out there like a Punk in the near future, or not near future, but a far future, but a future indeed, or ADR.
Yeah.
Once any of those guys come back and they got the cards stacked in their favor, they're able to present themselves in a light that I think that all of us would appreciate way more. It takes stepping away. It takes going away.
Yeah.
But
I just wanted to quickly mention before we move on that Lucha Underground is going to be insane within the next couple months, because Alberto El Patron is there. They're about to get Rey Mysterio and possibly the original Sin Cara.
Yes.
So, and that'll be funny because Sin Cara and Alberto Del Rio hate each other, but that's a whole another story for.
But the only problem I have with that is, those guys had their day. Even though they're big stars now, I'm enjoying watching Brian Cage. I'm enjoying watching Prince Puma. I'm enjoying watching Sexy Star. Phoenix is the motherfucking man.
Yeah, he is.
And
that dude rules.
And what's his name? The wears the black and the white. He snapped.
Not.
He's snapping motherfuckers' arms.
I can't think of his name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, right? I'll cut this part out as we think about it. His name is Junior something Pentagon.
Pentagon Junior.
Pentagon Junior. Yeah, I'll cut. What time is? Okay. Pentagon Junior. Between those 4 wrestlers, it's like, well, if Patron's coming in and Rey Mysterio's coming in, and then Sin Cara. What was his name before he became Sin Cara?
Mystico. And now someone else is playing Mystico. Once Mystico became Sin Cara in WWE, they got somebody else to play, or in Mexico to play Mystico, because that character was so popular. And then so once he came back to Mexico, he can't be Mystico anymore, so now his name is Mestizes or some weird shit.
Mestizes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got a shitload of Z's in it, and I can't pronounce it. So.
I just so many Z's that I'm even Z'ing over it.
Yep.
Maybe that's foreshadowing. But because
he's gonna put you to sleep.
Yeah, because he put me to sleep in fucking WWE. That piece of shit. He was a flop, dude. Like,
you know what's super weird to me now though? Like, you've essentially got two guys, like one in WWE in Sin Cara or Hunico, and then one guy in AAA. Mestizes or the original Mystico, and they essentially look like the exact same person.
Yeah.
It's super mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. How they were able to... I mean, yeah. It's ridiculous. But that's what I was saying. It's like, you got all these kind of older established guys, and what I was looking forward to in Lucha Underground is discovering new people and having those people sort of have the rocket ship thrown to their back and, blast off to the universe. Now, all of a sudden, I mean, I'd imagine there's got to be a little bit of heat with the new guys now that these older guys are coming in and basically taking their opportunities away. I mean, maybe that sounds a little extreme, but it really is what it is.
It does sound extreme, but I understand where you're coming from, because a lot of the younger talent is being showcased. I mean, you got like guys like Phoenix and guys like King Cuerno, who's freaking amazing too, and it's like they're just killing it right now. And Drago, that's really freaking good.
Man, so, Halloween, dude, Lucha Underground is selling those masks, that uniform, like hotcakes.
Yep.
But
there's no doubt.
Yeah, that's just awesome. But moving forward, what else has happened since we've spoke is the lawsuit by Chris Amon. How you pronounce it? Amon. He's Amon, baby. Yeah. And he pressed charges on CM Punk and Colt Cabana for.
Good.
So Chris Amon is a man or whatever. He's pressing charges on CM Punk and Colt Cabana for their interview and basically Punk's shoot, questioning his medical, what you would call it, medical practices, his medical, what's the word you want to use? Expertise or integrity.
Yeah.
Talking about ignoring something as sensitive as concussions now. And this idea of this, that fucking thing on his back. What was it? What the fuck you call it? The cyst.
Yeah.
And this whole thing where the WWE made a package of the Royal Rumble. I actually went back and watched it too to see if there was a lump in his back. And people are pissed off about him pressing charges. Like, well, shit, if you were a doctor too, you would do the same exact thing. I mean, you're talking.
Did you see the lump on his back?
No,
I didn't see it either. I think he's making shit up.
I know, which is like, and then they're talking about, well, why is Colt getting prosecuted? It's like, well, because if you drive someone to the bank to rob it, you're considered an accessory as well. We're gonna do that again?
No.
Okay. But so you got several million people listening to this podcast, and you got people, and this guy is the chief of the medical staff at WWE. And when a story like this gets out, you got to protect yourself to a certain extent, and I don't blame him. And somebody was like mad. They were mad that again, Colt Cabana got prosecuted, but he was the vehicle for that voice to get out. I mean, he wanted to become a household name. Who was Colt Cabana before the CM Punk interview? Who was he?
He was a wrestler in Ring of Honor.
That's it. Like
before he left because he's a baby because he didn't want to go all corporate and shit. So, and he had a brief run in WWE, and the reason why he started his Art of Wrestling podcast is because he's a bitter old man. Well, he's not an old man, but he's a bitter man who's sad that he didn't make it, and that's about the long and short of it.
So that didn't answer my question. Who is Colt Cabana before this CM Punk interview?
Nobody.
Exactly. Who is he now?
Nobody.
Well, he's somebody enough to where, if me or you or Eyes on the Ring or anybody got half of the downloads that he got for that one podcast times 2.
He got so many it broke his freaking website.
It broke everything. It broke the internet. It broke Stitcher.
Yeah.
They had to reload everything on SoundCloud. But like, you get that many listens, you're good. I mean, you're made to a certain extent. And I think this was the game plan. And even in this lawsuit, his name's in the lawsuit, so we know who he is. If he wasn't even on the lawsuit, then what? I just go. However this works out, I just hope that they come up with the proper medical papers for for the operation that he had, the cutting open of that little thing big thing in his back. And
well, it wasn't cut open; they just popped it, and he said that pus shot up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily believe that story now because I didn't even see a growth. When it's like, and like, did you?
But
those
even
pictures
showing up
that were put up on WWE.com, like they didn't show anything, and they were like extremely inappropriate because all they were was footage of CM Punk's ass.
Yeah.
So it was
just trunks though, but nevertheless, yeah, I just go.
But it was just weird.
But they would even have it documented to him even going in to see the doctor. It's not like that doctor's gonna be like not document the fact that he performed this procedure and then he gave Punk the medications for.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's a paper trail to these things. And if there's no paper trail, there may not be a story. So this is a question of Punk's integrity. Not Amon's integrity as a medical guy, but as Punk as it's like, well, you got people who take, Punk can walk into a room of marks and fans and just be like, you know what, the sky is green. And the guys would be like, I knew it was green all along. Right? So you have that kind of influence, and then maybe the heat that Amon has gotten from not only fans in the news cycle, and then also his medical counterparts. I mean, other people in the medical world looking at him like, don't be that guy. He has to stand up for himself. So regardless of how anyone feels, whether this is something by Vince, whether, the fact that he's pressing charges, that he's a big... No, I think he has every right. Let someone put some slander out like that on me and compromising who I was as a professional. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go Kurt Schilling on your ass.
I agree completely.
I'm gonna take it to the as far extent as possible, because we've seen this happen before with A-Rod, and we've seen this happen before with what the fuck is that bicyclist's name?
I have no idea.
Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong?
Yeah, because them trying to defend their name, and even Matt Braun that plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, he buried people. He buried people, like, you know what I'm saying? He took down everyone in his path to clear his name, to clear their names.
Yeah.
These respectful doctors.
Yeah.
And come to find out, these assholes were lying all along. And Punk might be that next Lance Armstrong.
Well, that's fine with me because I already hate the guy. Or I don't hate him, but I'm just I'm over it.
Yeah.
And the fact that What really pisses me off about the whole thing is not that he left and whatnot. It's the stupid fans that go to fucking wrestling shows and chant his stupid name. He is
Stupidly.
a quitter. He left. Well, according to his story, he got fired. But still, he left. He didn't show up to work on that Monday when he was supposed to be there on January 28th of 2014. So he is a quitter. You should not support him. You shouldn't chant his name during AJ Lee matches. Granted, I'm not a huge AJ Lee fan either, but ruining her matches with her husband's name is not fair to her, and it's just a bunch of bullshit.
And the thing is, what I've realized about the CM Punk chants is that I don't think they're CM Punk chants rooting for CM Punk, because we've been there. We all know what the deal is. I feel the same exact way. I imagine a lot of other people do as well. But CM Punk chants come at like a part of a WWE moment that is not so entertaining. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's like just their way of rebelling.
Yeah, like, this is boring. You mean rather than...
But, and then have you noticed, like, I've noticed too, like, there's been specific matches where on Raw, I can't think of the exact matches. There's been a couple instances where people have been wrestling, mainly AJ Lee.
Well, she hasn't been around.
Wrestling him. Well, before she left, because she was still around after Punk left,
and the story was still hot.
Yeah, but what happened was people, like, they would wrestle a match, and then people would start chanting CM Punk, and it's almost like the match would end out of nowhere to stop the chants, because as soon as so-and-so's music hit to signify who was winning or who won the match, those chants stopped. And they automatically turned to cheers. So I think they were trying to do damage control a little bit by having shorter matches.
I don't think that's the case with Diva's time in the ring. I mean,
no, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying because it's only been one or two instances where it's happened.
I think it was probably supposed to end in like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, even before the fucking CM Punk chant started.
But that still doesn't explain the 30-second farce we got of a women's match a couple weeks ago, which sparked that whole give divas a chance, which everybody took out of context, because everybody does that.
Because they had to, they were over, I mean, you got 3 hours worth of time. How, between Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and John Cena hogging up a lot of that time in their promos, or even the Daniel Bryan Reigns thing, and how they shift those stories around. Someone had to get cut, and that Divas time got cut.
And it's like, what do when I'm watching a pay-per-view, when there's a Divas match, what do? I automatically go to the bathroom.
Well, I want to watch the Divas. I'm not like a super mark like everyone else all of a sudden because of, this sort of wrestling feminist thing that's happening right now. But
that's what I hate about wrestling and the internet in general, is because people will jump on trends even if they don't necessarily agree with it, because they just want to be a part of something and think everything's cool. And then I've seen like this whole hashtag give divas a chance, and I've seen people change their display name to hashtag give whatever their first name is a chance, and it's just like, you guys are taking it way out of context and you're being stupid. Same with the CM Punk Z-Pack thing. It's like, you guys don't even know what a Z-Pack is.
No.
So shut up.
If anything, they thought that was like a Zack Ryder's faction or something.
The Z-Pack attack.
Yeah, the Z-Pack.
I would totally be down for that if they did it, because I would laugh my ass off.
Because you know what I'm down with? I'm down with Axelmania.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh,
that dude rules.
That rules. That's great. The pop he got when he came out last Monday was incredible. Anyway, but moving on. I just hope it all works itself out. I mean, if Punk has to pay the price, he has to pay the price. You shouldn't lie. Lie about anything except someone's fucking medical integrity and profession. You just don't fucking do that. We've seen that story too many times. And since we've been gone, we've basically gotten through an entire year of the WWE Network. and they got their 1 million subscribers.
Yep.
Anything you want to speak on about that? Do you still have the network?
Yes, I do. I've been a day one subscriber. I will always have the network. The only time I will not have the network is if they decide that it's not a good venture and they decide to cancel the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I will always have it. There's always something to watch on there. I got it for NXT specifically because I knew that they were going to take it off of Hulu.
Uh-huh.
So
tell me about since you've had it for a year, you have a first hand, because I don't have the network because my internet sucks.
No, I understand that.
But tell us the progression of the network as long as you've had it. Things that you thought could have improved, things that did improve, content that you were happy that you got your hands on, things you didn't learn about before. What are some things that stand out with your year-long subscription to the WWE network?
Being the first day, when it rolled out, it had every single WWE, WCW, and ECW pay-per-view on it. That's it.
Yeah.
And then they started adding like the weekly shows like NXT, like Main Event, like Superstars, which Superstars I would, if you can watch it because they only have two. It's a 1 hour show. They only have 2 matches, but it's 2 matches that are well worth your time and are usually pretty good unless Summer Rae's in the ring because she can't do anything.
Dude, I like Summer Rae. Summer Rae's good.
She's just, I don't know. She's good when she wants to be, but sometimes you can tell when she just doesn't give a shit. But
and plus, like, she's from Carolina too, so I gotta defend my own. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I hear you. That's why I'm huge into Curtis Axel because he's from Minneapolis, so I can't crap on the guy.
Yeah.
But plus I met him at a show, so. What was I saying? But yeah, the network. I mean, it's evolved to where it's got NXT. It's got Superstars, it's got Main Event. Well, not so much Main Event anymore because of the whole. When they launched the network in the UK, they had to take Main Event off of the network because of some contract that they still had with Sky Sports. Because apparently Main Event is exclusive to Sky Sports over there, so it still happens, but you have to like watch it on Hulu or seek out an illegal way to figure out to watch it. So, there was a match between Sin Cara and Cesaro that happened a few weeks ago that I had to watch illegally because it wasn't on the network. But it was a really good match, and like I said, I'd recommend checking that out. But the network, it's going to do away eventually with DVDs. I mean, you're not going to want physical copies. I think I've only bought like 2 physical copies of wrestling DVDs since the network came out. And now they have like all these live specials. They had that Shield documentary that's going to be a 3-disc set that they're going to release. The Daniel Bryan Journey to WrestleMania that they released. They did an Usos one. And then there's another series on there that just came out called WWE 24. The first one was on Daniel Bryan, and they talked about that Connor McCallick, the one who passed away from cancer or from a tumor in his brain. But so they did that one, and then they did one on who was it? Fuck, I can't remember.
Well, they did one on WrestleMania. They did one on
WrestleMania.
They just did one on Booker T.
Yeah, Booker T. That's the one I was thinking of. And that one was very good.
So they're adding like good original content outside of the pay-per-views, outside of the Monday Night War, outside of basically the Attitude Era, releases. So the thing.
Well, and that was my main complaint too, is that there wasn't enough original content, and now there is. And they got
the Texas stuff down there too, on there. What's the name of that promotion?
World Class Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, they got that on there. And then I mean, they're doing all right. And something. And here's the thing about, and I was talking about this on a previous podcast, is the idea that they're the first of its kind. They're, in terms of like a network, like an online network with its own content, it's the first of its kind. I mean, next to the MLB, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's who they're in cohorts with to make this happen.
Well, and UFC has the same thing.
Yeah, but
I don't think they're as in depth as the WWE
no,
Network.
Not at all.
Because they don't WWE Network. They show live pay-per-views, whereas a friend of mine who has the UFC Fight Pass, they show the preliminary fights and the lesser fights, but they don't show UFC 164, which was this weekend, which was the Ronda Rousey fight. They didn't show that on the UFC show.
And to make a quick comment about that,
or UFC Network, so
people are talking about these fucking fights as if they should last. I think no, the point of them is to get in and get out as fast as possible. Now,
exactly.
Anyone who's jumping off the pay-per-view bandwagon, it's better off in the near future. I think everyone involved with the WWE Network.
Well, New Japan did it too.
They see it. Yeah, New Japan, they saw everything. So they're kind of like the front runners of this. If they would have been second or third or fourth, I think we'll be having a different discussion. Maybe they'll have more than just 1 million subscribers. Not saying that 1 million is not a lot. It is. But, projection-wise, if they didn't have to basically learn on the job, we'd be having a different conversation. If someone else was to put out their thing and then they could use that as a way to learn, because you got CBS now starting to do it. I think A&E is going to do it. You have all these things that are just sitting back waiting for someone else to do it, so they can jump off the Time Warner network, to jump off the Time Warner pay-per-view. Just cut out all the middleman. If someone's willing to pay anything between $5 to $9 a month to just get that content, because if you got Time Warner, you got 1,000 channels, you probably only watch 3. So it's I have to give kudos for them for a year, because everyone was really down on it. I'm just like, dude, just give it a chance. It's actually they're like the Wrights brothers of content and content subscription. They're the first in flight. And I think
I don't get wrestling fans who claim they're wrestling fans, and I ask them if they have the network. I mean, I understand your case because you have a shitty connection or shitty internet, whatever. But unless that's your excuse, there's no other excuse to not have it besides you can't afford the $10 a month.
Well, depending on the person, and that's how much time you have to take in all that content. And that boils down to even my subscription to certain podcasts. It's I don't pay for a podcast subscription, whether it's MLS or PW Torch or PW Insider. I don't have that much time on my hands to even put out that kind of money. Even though it's $9, it's still $9.
And that's $30 just speaking right there.
Yeah, dude. And I don't have that kind of time to listen to that many podcasts. I mean, I got the stuff that I listen to, the free stuff, the content, but anything more than that is just overwhelming. And I think people who don't have it want to justify paying for a product that they actually will have the time to consume. Feel me?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd imagine a wrestling fan, whether they watching or not, just to support the product. But I know if I was to put up that money, I would have at least said no within a certain amount of time, say within a month subscription. I have to factor in a certain amount of time, like a pie chart, 30 days. How many hours am I going to devote a month to checking this out? So where it's I feel good about giving up that $9.
What I do usually is I go by show. So if I watch even if it's a 1 hour show, say NXT. I watch NXT every week, so that's 4 hours right there. That's 4 shows.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Main Event when it was on, but so that would be another 4 shows, another 4 hours. But the way I consider it, as long as I watch 10 hours of content,
you're justified.
A month, I'm justified in my purchase.
That's what's up.
So, and even if I don't watch the 10 hours that I just spoke of, if I just say fuck everything and then watch the pay-per-views are $60, but I'm getting it for 10.
Yeah.
So that's my money's worth right there.
I feel like the flagship for the
Even if the show sucks.
we're gonna try to power through the next the next topics in like 30 minutes. So I just wanted to bring up one more thing about about the WWE Network. It seems that what they've accomplished with NXT is that the takeover pay-per-views are basically the flagship to that network. The popularity of that pay-per-view has done it. I didn't think, if you're all the powers that be at the WWE and you're looking at what's going to help you gain more subscribers, whether it's content from all the pay-per-views prior, all the shows, Attitude Era, the what's it? Say it again. The Texas promotion.
World Class Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, whether it's World Class Championship Wrestling.
Everyone from that company, all the entire family is dead.
The 24 series, 24/7. Out of all those things, I'd imagine that they all didn't think that the NXT pay-per-views, the takeovers, would be the actual flagship. Now, seeing that people are subscribing just to be able to tune into those and say the pay-per-views, but more so those because it's like this new brash talent that everyone's hip to nowadays. Do you see them actually, because they're quarterly, like 4 a year, do you see them expanding, like having one every 2 months? Do you see them?
I don't think they should.
Okay. Do you see? Okay, that was going to be my second question.
The reason why is because, this goes back to when WCW was a thing. They had, and Eric Bischoff is to blame for having 12 pay-per-views a month.
Yeah.
Because he was doing 7, then he moved to 9, and then he moved to 10. All this, and then WWE was doing the same thing where they would do, like, answer what WCW was doing, and then eventually they moved to 12, so there was 12 pay-per-views a month.
Yeah, the In Your House.
I didn't think there needed to be 12 pay-per-views a month because with the original 4 pay-per-views that they had, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, that was enough.
Yeah.
I mean, money-wise it's not, but as far as content-wise it is, because with the monthly pay-per-views, you notice that some of the pay-per-views end up really sucking. And the go-home shows aren't good, and they don't know what direction they're going. I think if WWE as a company had less pay-per-views, they would be better off. That's why I like NXT so much, because they're not pressured to do a pay-per-view a month and build to a pay-per-view a month. So they have more time to build storylines and let them breathe. To get to the pay-per-view, that's because
but this is
the
all
way they're going.
But you know what this is, though, man. This is all Triple H. This guy sees what works because he's been there. Like one of the things, because from this one website, I get to watch like the WWE Network content. I was watching the Monday Night Wars, and it's like, well, you got basically history in your face about what works and what doesn't work. Why does it seem that even though you have this content about how this one promotion who was kicking your ass one time ended up going to shit, or you basically swallowing it whole?
It's exactly what they're doing now.
It's exactly what they're doing now, and it's almost as if NXT is what WCW is before it started to tank. And I don't see it. It's innovative. It's all of these things, and it's hard to believe that NXT and WWE are products within the same company. So I mean,
to me they're not. I mean,
as long as Triple H is in charge, I think there's not going to be any change. The only thing that is the fact that just like on Vince McMahon on the Stone Cold podcast, it's my network. I can do what I want, right? It would be him forcing the hand of Triple H to have at least 2 more on the network, because he sees the success and sees the subscription rates rising to see it. And if he went to
do 4 pay-per-views a year, like once every quarter, that would be fine. Even if you went to 6, so you're doing like one every 2 months, where there's a month off in between, that would be good too. But like I said earlier, there doesn't need to be. We don't need to have NXT pay-per-views once a month, because with pay-per-views they are now, like on the main roster, the build would suffer, and
the way I
wouldn't
see
be that
it
interested.
is that they shouldn't even go past 4. They should never be 4.
No, and I agree with that, but I'm saying even if they went to 6 and they did it every other month, that would be fine with me.
No.
But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to stick to the 4 that they're offering a year.
All right. Well, let's move on to the more recent events. And so far, we have Samoa Joe, the story of Samoa Joe leaving TNA. And as of, like, I would say a day or two ago, that there's a strong possibility that he's going to NXT, because we all know the story between him and Triple H, and him being a fan of Samoa Joe. The fact that Samoa Joe, as soon as he left TNA, there was no competition clause, no compete clause, so he took independent dates right off the bat, and one of the first ones was against MVP in a New York show. And
he's going to be signed to WWE, and they're going to rename him Hawaiian Hank, and it's going to be hilarious.
But check this shit out, right? He's not taking any more indie dates. I say, was it April 22nd or something like that? And that's when basically the new tapings, or what the contract cycles restart for the WWE, and everyone just sees it in gold that he's coming over to the WWE. Now, how long he's going to be down at NXT is one thing. You have to take into consideration his age. You got to take into consideration his wear and tear that he already has on his body. You also have to take into consideration where he will fit once he goes up to the main roster. Next to, will he go up before Sami Zayn? Will he go up before Hideo Itami? Will he go up before Finn Balor? Would he go up before Kevin Owens? Like, this is the speculations. And quickly, what do you think? Where do you see him landing? And I the Hawaiian Hank, that's funny, but I think if this is going to be a Triple H thing, or even a Paul Heyman thing, because as soon as he put out the tweet, there was a tweet by Heyman that said, which I thought was all really cool, because if you're Samoa Joe in his situation, you're thinking, man, my life sucks. And then you got all these guys that are like, yo, dude, you're the shit. What are you talking about? It's got to be great reassurance. Do you think it's going to be one of those things where, to prevent Hawaiian Hank from ever debuting on the main roster of WWE, you think it's one of those things where Triple H is going to put his foot down? It's like, no, you're not going to do this. And
you mean go to NXT before the main roster?
Yeah, but he's going to NXT before the main roster.
Yeah.
But once he's called up, how soon do you see him going? And does he beat out all the other guys that are on their way? And do you think it's going to be one of the things once that Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn is not going to have their hand on him?
I would like to believe that if it happens, that Triple H would be solely responsible for everything he does on the main roster once he gets there. I don't think he should be in NXT that long. I'd give him 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would. And the reason why is because he's not getting any younger. Time is still on his side, but he's to the point where he has to do something to validate his career.
Yep.
Meaning a WWE run. So the sooner they get him up there, probably the better. Normally, I'm a proponent of saying, oh, these guys are young enough. I want them to stay in NXT as long as possible because WWE is just going to ruin them. But with him, I'm hoping. Well, look at the track record between NXT and WWE.
Yeah, it's bad.
There isn't any success stories.
At
I mean,
all.
you could say Roman Reigns is one, but he's not really. He came from FCW.
And then Daniel Bryan and all these things. I mean, we're talking like straight up. We're talking Big E. We're talking Bo Dallas. We're talking not necessarily Fandango, but take even Adam Rose, Emma, Paige.
Yeah.
It's horrible track record. Horrible.
Yeah.
It's almost embarrassing once you think about it.
Yeah.
Because each one of those people that came up from NXT was supposed to be like, okay, here comes the wave of the young new talent into the main roster, and it's like, boom, 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 wow.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened. Especially Big E. Big E and Bo Dallas are the two biggest disappointments. And Emma. Between those three.
Adam Rose.
Oh, fuck Adam Rose. I was never a fan of him at FCW. Like
I liked him as Leo
Kruger.
Kruger, and I like the gimmick change when they changed to Adam Rose at first, but I knew, like, right when I saw that, I'm like, this is not going to work on a main roster scale.
Well, they got
in a big
tricked.
arena.
They got tricked by Full Sail. By the idea that when he came out with that dumbass intro, that Full Sail was going bananas over it. That it was like, this is great. Let's send his ass up now. What do you think, Kevin Dunn? This is Sleg Daddy's impression of Kevin Dunn. Yeah, boss. Like, sounds like a good idea.
That's exactly Jim Cornette's impression too.
Yeah. Like, so
Jim Cornette hates that guy.
Yeah, boss. Sounds like a good idea. Let's bring him up. Just bring him up.
Yep.
But yeah, so we'll just see what happens, because what you're saying is there's a possibility that he's going to go up before the top 4 guys in NXT right now.
He almost has to, because the top 4 guys that you're talking about are younger.
Adrian Neville too.
Mojo.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like Hideo Itami, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, and the other one that I didn't mention, Adrian Neville.
And Hideo
Itami, Finn Balor.
Yeah, we named them all. Sami
Zayn,
and even the selfie guy.
Tyler Breeze.
Yeah,
he's been down in FCW forever.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Because he was like a regular, meaning he was using his real name and he didn't really have a gimmick.
Yeah.
And then they figured out this Tyler Breeze for him, and he's been killing it in that, and he hasn't really done that much.
Yeah, because he's too much of a gimmick to put anything on him. But
he's a really good wrestler, though. That's the thing. But I don't know what's going to happen to him when he gets called up.
So, quick thoughts on the idea of former wrestlers coming back to the NXT. Like Brian Kendrick, Rhino. Do you see this happening more often? Would you want this to happen more often, or no?
I think it should, because like maybe once a month. If you do it any more than that, it's going to kind of kill the appeal. But it's great to get guys, like, get your eyes on NXT. Like, say, hey, Rhino showed up. Say, hey, Brian Kendrick showed up. Like, whoever the hell shows up.
Oh, shit.
Like, that'll get people talking.
The Godfather's showing up. Oh, shit. That's
not going to happen because he's old as shit.
Well, he still could show with the hose. Do you understand the pop I had? Because I was like, this is the Royal Rumble from 2 years ago. And I was like, please, oh, please let the Godfather be in it. And showing up, he was there. I was at Hooters going nuts. Turn saw me losing my mind. I would just go, the hose, it's the hose. And all he had to do was, like, just go in and, like, get his ass whooped. Then he just gets himself off, dust himself off, leave with the hose. There's some hose in Orlando.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I see what you're saying.
Now that you mention it, that could probably work.
Yeah, Orlando
hose. I
hose.
mind seeing that. Because
Orlando hose.
Well, and plus the crowd there is, like, it's not... NXT to me is not a PG product.
No.
So they could totally get away with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. A bunch of marks.
And it's still, like, it's ridiculous to me because, like, WWE, the main roster shows are totally PG, where NXT, if you really think about it, isn't. It's like 2 companies with 2 completely different products. It's insane.
Yeah. But, I was just saying, because people were like, oh, man, they're going to put right on the roster for good. I'm like, no. He's just there to enhance somebody.
Yeah.
And
he's
the
an
same
enhancement guy.
Yeah, and the same with the Brian Kendrick. Like, But that's the thing. Some people, I don't know what it is. They're so easily like just to. Have you noticed that wrestling fans, like internet wrestling fans, it's just like they don't give anything chance to process through their brains.
They just jump. They just jump the shark like right away. Like if they see
Jesus.
Rhino, they just overthink it.
Or anything, anything. It's just like boom. There's no filter in the idea of like in their head how it makes sense. They're out. They're what's the word? They're really out. They're lash out because
They're stuck in Markland.
Yeah, well, in itself is because it's so absurd. It's like, well, let your brain filter through this. Like the whole Reigns failed drug test thing. It's like it's absurd because it is absurd.
Was that failed drug test? Was that something that legit happened?
No, no. It was just
that I read on a dirt sheet. That
it was some troll who hates Reigns.
Yeah, because I don't.
He backtracked.
I don't
there was
read dirt sheets anymore.
There was no paper trail. There's no paper trail. There's no paper trail to that happening. None at all. Yeah. It is not even like because regardless of who you are, WWE is forthwith to telling you. Anyone, whoever you are, that you are in shit land. Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio, Jack Swagger, all those guys bit the dust. Even Rey Mysterio, all of them, because of Chris Benoit. They're not just because they want to push Roman Reigns, they want to hide some shit like that. No, this is called athletic integrity and medical integrity. That if Reigns would have failed his drug test and got a warning, we would have all known as much as, say, Josh Hamilton going through a relapse, or say Josh Gordon. Damn, what's up with all these Joshes fucking up? Josh, what's his name? Josh from the Browns.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But anyway, he's gonna sit out a season because they found alcohol in his system. Well, anyway, the NFL put that shit out there. The MLB put it out there. These are top stars. The WWE has no reason to cover up Reigns. It would be a warning. It won't be like he would get in any kind of
he'd get a slap on the wrist. That's it.
But at the same time,
then they do something.
Yeah. So either way,
it's like these marks that want to make shit up. It's like go jump off a bridge or something like that, because it's just you're being stupid. It's like. They're just denying the fact that Roman Reigns is in the main event and that he's being pushed. And it's like, I understand you don't like it, but don't make shit up that's not true.
Hashtag cancel the WWE network and then have your mom buy it so you can watch hers.
That's a long-ass hashtag.
That happened, dude. I was listening to some dude. He was talking about how he didn't have the network. So, do you have that? Yeah, I canceled it. But I still watch my mom's. It's like, shut the fuck up.
His mom's what?
His mom's subscription to the WWE network.
He must have a cool mom, because my mom don't have a friggin'...
No, he must be a fucking bum is what he is.
Yeah, I was being facetious.
He's a fucking idiot. Oh, yeah, like, if you want to cancel it, don't watch it. Never mind. I digress. And speaking of NXT...
I'm just going to watch it. I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah. Like, what a dick.
Piss off.
And the newest signee to NXT is Uhaa Nation. Are you familiar with his work? Speaking of NXT.
Yes, I am.
What do you think?
I think it's good. This guy's been talented for a long time. He's really come into his own. He's been tearing it up on the indie scene. It'll be good to see what he... Huh?
Can he talk?
That I don't know.
If he can't talk, I don't give a shit if he can drop kick Big Show off the top rope, standing on the top buckle.
Well, he doesn't need to talk. I mean...
Yes, he does.
Well, let me finish my thought process. This is what I don't understand. Remember in the 80s when managers were prominent? They would give guys managers that couldn't talk. I mean, they still do it in Ring of Honor. Moose, I don't know if you know who Moose is.
I know exactly who Moose is.
But he's like a poor man's Uhaa Nation to me.
Yeah. He was at the PWX.
He's decent, but he can't talk worth a damn. And they finally realized that once he bombed on live pay-per-view at Best in the World, they had him cut a promo, and he sounded like an idiot.
I remember that.
So they put him with Veda Scott, because she can talk.
And she's hot, too.
Yes, amazing.
Nerd. Hot.
But why? I don't understand this. Why can't you get somebody to talk for Roman Reigns? Because he obviously can't do it for himself. When he was in the Shield,
find him? But we, just like the art of the tag team, the art of the manager has died as a brutal death as much. I mean, you got
I know, but I'm just saying, if you're going to sign a guy like Uhaa Nation, who can't talk, to my knowledge, he's not going to go anywhere because he can't talk. He doesn't have a personality.
And there's
personality in the WWE.
And there's this other thing going on about him too. He's black. I just don't see a lot happening. I mean, if he's in the realm of Triple H, and Triple H doesn't have a great rapport on African American wrestlers either. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, kudos to him. I imagine that's a dream of his to sign such a contract. Even though he's going to be at NXT, he's going to go in. He's going to wow everyone with his athleticism and his size. He's going to be the like of what anyone has ever seen in Full Sail and on the main roster. I'm just now finding out about him, so I'm not like some dude who's been there since day one. I seen what he does, and
I'm not gonna say like you harped on me last week or a couple weeks ago about Sexy Star and being a fan of hers from day one. I haven't seen enough of this guy to. I mean, I enjoy his work, but I'm not gonna say this guy's. I've been a fan of his since day one, because I would be lying, because I haven't seen enough of him to really say. I mean, I know the guy's good, but I'm not going to sit here and say, I've always liked this guy, because that's what pisses me off about people that get signed to WWE, because everyone else honestly or automatically be a fan of him. I've always liked Uhaa Nation.
I remember at the auditorium, I was at the Armory, I saw him go up against
exactly.
Shut up.
Eat a dick.
Yeah. So moving forward, I hope it works out. I just hope
me too.
His color and his talking ability, and if they do put a mouthpiece on him, I hope it's somebody who is actually worth doing it. I would hate to see another Jackson. I hate to see another Bobby Lashley situation happen with him, but he's a whole other athlete. I think the only other person that's close to his athleticism at his size is Biggie Langston, but
those two could tear it up. I want to see that now.
But look where Biggie ended up.
No, I know.
Anyway,
it could be worse when Uhaa Nation gets signed. They could pair him with those three, and then
bring back the nation. It'd be like Uhaa Nation of Domination. Oh,
I like it.
So Undertaker, and his whole thing with Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt calling him out. He's in a situation now where the WWE is planning to keep him off TV the entire road to WrestleMania. Good or bad?
Yeah. Good or bad?
Yeah. Let's just show up. Just show up. No one said take a bump. Just show up.
To me, he needs to at least show up before or the week before WrestleMania. The thing I don't like about the three main matches is they're all being built by one side. You have Reigns doing all the build for the Brock Lesnar match. You have Bray Wyatt doing all the build for the Undertaker match, and then there's another match where there's one guy isn't there, and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Well,
what the match actually? The Triple H Sting match.
Yeah, Triple H Sting.
Because Sting's not going to be there, so all your three featured marquee matches are all being built by one guy who's there, and the other guys are not there. Yeah. So it's just
I never thought of it that way.
There's a huge disconnect. You never thought of it that way until I just mentioned it?
Yeah, like the idea that all three big matches are all built on only one person being around. That's three stories.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. I didn't even think of that.
I heard that on another podcast a couple days ago. I can't remember which one it was, but shout out to whoever said it. I think it might have been Straight Shoot. But
what up, Straight Shoot?
Yeah, but it's just odd that you're having three matches at your 3 marquee matches at WrestleMania, and you expect them to be built by one guy, and you expect people to want to watch them. I'll still watch them, but
yeah, I hope he shows up at least for the go home show to just stand there and point at the fucking WrestleMania sign, because he still hasn't accepted. That's the whole thing. That's why
that's all he has to do.
Just point at the fucking sign.
What are they gonna do? Like have him like not accept until WrestleMania, and then all of a sudden he just shows up?
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like, and plus it's like for me, I need more build because the streak is over.
Yeah.
You don't have the streak anymore, so it's not like he can just. They can like they did with Triple H back at WrestleMania 27, where they both showed up on 2/21/11 and stared at each other and then stared at the WrestleMania sign. They did the same thing the next year, so on and so forth. You can't do that anymore because the streak is not a thing.
Yeah.
So you have to build it from the ground up in order to make the match mean something. It's like I want to know what Undertaker's thinking right now, like how he's reacting to the streak being broken, all that stuff, and we're not going to get any of that because they're going to keep him off TV until WrestleMania.
There was one talks of
which I think is a stupid.
It was talks of him showed up as the American Badass. I don't know, maybe that was a troll doing that. The same guy who said Roman Reigns failed the drug test. It's like, are you nuts? You know how Vince feels about that?
Was that Mets fan forever? Because he got debunked a long time ago.
Like, I don't even know. I don't even care. I don't follow Reddit.
Stupid rumors. Apparently he's an insider, but half of his shit is wrong. So I don't know.
Almost like what is it? Vince's chin or something. What is it? I haven't seen him in a while since he made that claim about the whole JBL thing went down. What was it? Vince something Vince heel Vince. Well, do you remember that Twitter account?
At Cranky Vince.
Cranky Vince, yeah.
And that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
But it was JBL running that account.
Well, I heard it was Court Bauer.
Okay.
And that was the whole thing with that.
One or the other.
Where they were trying to make it seem like a link between the two. I think it was like a ruse to get rid of it altogether. But apparently someone I heard, a little bird in my ear, told me that it was Court Bauer. But we got 15 minutes, all right?
All right.
15 minutes we're going to do a shotgun. We actually went through the whole Rey Mysterio thing. So, Brock speculations. You buy into them or not?
What do you mean as far as speculations?
Well, him walking out, and that being like, him walking out and him showing up to the last UFC fight, it's like the speculation that that it's pretty much written in stone that he's going to return to the UFC. Are you buying into this? Or are you looking into this? Or are you...
You mean more of the speculation that he got pissed off because some disagreement backstage with creative and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, because I'm not buying into it because I don't know what exactly he would be mad about.
Money. That's it.
Yeah, but he's making $5 million a year.
I know, but
he's gonna walk out of his deal with $15 million. That's more than money than me or you or anybody else will see in our lifetimes.
I mean, 15 million of me. That's $1 a piece.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't need that many me walking around. But there was a dispute about merch. And the fact that they don't sell his stuff at any of the shows. They only sell him at the pay-per-views he's at. And I don't know whether...
And that's smart.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
By who?
By WWE.
How so?
Because if you want a shirt of his, you can only get it if you're in attendance at a pay-per-view where he's in attendance.
But that's not the only reason why to go to a fucking pay-per-view to get a Brock Lesnar shirt. His shirt should be out there all the time.
Are his shirts on WWEshop.com, though?
No.
Okay, that's a little suspect.
Yeah. Undertaker stuff is on there. Sting stuff is on there. He ain't even fought a match yet. And it's just shady. And you say 15 million, it could be at least 17 million if he had at least a constant showing of his stuff. And I don't know whether it's the Jimmy John's aspect of it. I don't know whether it was just like a small print in his contract.
That's what I was thinking too, like sponsorship.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe he overlooked it, but hell of a time to bring it up now.
Yeah.
But I don't buy into it just because he had a piece of intestine taken out of his body, and the amount of concussions that he's probably had in UFC, and his workload is lighter, working with the WWE, but then that plays in the fact that, like, even though I like him in his role now, I don't think I could go another year of not seeing the belt as much. Even though I want him on it, I want him to show up more often with the belt, and that would be my only thing. So, I mean, not to make a prediction now in terms of WrestleMania, I'll leave that for what's the word? The prediction show.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. One of the last times Brock showed up, people, and this is another thing that drives me nuts about some wrestling fans. People weren't happy to see, or people were happy to see Brock, but they were also pissed because he didn't have the belt with him. So it's like, take one or the other.
We should have both.
Like, just be happy that the champion was there. I understand we should have both, but if Brock shows up without the belt, who cares? He's the champion.
Yeah,
he doesn't need it.
It's a small piece of the pie. Maybe it's the last piece of the pie. Maybe it's the smallest piece of the pie that's left on the thing. Yeah. You still want to have it. If someone beats you to it, or you're pretty pissed about it. So it's one of those things. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I was my panties wearing a wad about it, but at the same time, it's something that really stands out. It'd be almost if he didn't show up without pants on or something. Why the fuck is he wearing pants? Where's the belt? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's Paul Heyman? It's these little things, these little details, they help build him as the Brock Lesnar champion character. You got to have the belt with you.
Speaking of Paul Heyman, I wonder what he's going to do if once Brock goes to the UFC, if he's going to follow him there again like he did, or if he's going to do something else within WWE.
Well, if he leaves, I don't see him leaving. Again, that you don't take pieces of your body out and expect to work normally, especially in a situation where someone's trying to kill you. It's just not going to work. But let's just say if he does leave, Paul Heyman.
I don't know. I've heard a bullshit argument that UFC is safer than WWE, and I don't necessarily agree with that. But
yeah. Well, it's. I mean,
the schedule. As far as the schedule, it's safer. But as far as you actually getting punched and kicked in the face, and someone's legit trying to kill you, it's not.
Yeah, but
I don't know how that could.
One of my things is when someone is down and the match is over, there's no post issues. There's no, what I'm saying, there's no stomp in a mud hole. There's no, the big black guy with the dreads gets you off of them to, not sustain more injury. And I think that in itself makes it just a slight more safe.
Herb Dean.
Yeah, just a slight more safe than say, you take what happened with John Cena, him getting put in the accolade and stretched the fuck out. The match was over. It was something I wish would have happened. I wish he would have leaned into it much longer, like he does other wrestlers after the bell is rung. Like, tackle the fucker off of him. That's how you do it. But no, that's not how wrestling works. You got to play up a little bit. And let's just say he would have leaned on it maybe a good 5-10 seconds more and have Lana in John Cena's face. Like, that's not how the UFC works. So just in itself, I think just applies more safe stuff to it. But that's all how you feel versus how I feel. So last week was the return of AJ Lee, and we're talking about a definitely a weird situation right now, especially with the whole Twitter thing that happened between her and Stephanie McMahon, and the whole her.
I think that was a work.
You think so?
I don't think there's nothing. I don't think there's anything to that. I think it's just stirring up shit to stir up shit to get the marks talking. Yeah. So it's like it's mark bait.
Well, what happens with her in the Divas division? Does she get the belt back? Because it seems that they're pairing her up with Paige again. What wiggle room does she have within the diva, very lacking divas division? As with what's
the way
going to
I
happen?
see it is the divas division is lacking without her. I don't think she's going to help much, and giving her the belt back isn't going to solve anything because she's already the longest reigning divas champion of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, divas champion, not women's champion. She'll never break that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like after giving her that big of a run, what else is there to do with her? It's like
get her better competition. Get Becky Lynch. I couldn't think of it from the last. So it's Becky Lynch. You bring up Charlotte Flair. You bring up fucking Bayley.
Sasha Banks.
You bring up Sasha Banks. Like and then you make your divas division legit. Like that's all you do. You cannot have a significant AJ Lee in a fucking divas division full of fucking Nikki and Brie Bella and fucking I mean, take what Naomi.
I agree.
Take Naomi's talent. Take Natty's talent. You bring up Sasha Banks, Flair. Just those four, and have Paige. And then have AJ Lee, and just that in itself is a very strong divas division.
I'd like to see a program in the divas division between Naomi and AJ Lee, because I think they could do something special.
But
I never want to see them.
She's too fucking tiny for me. To make
I
me understand that a girl who's a foot taller and at least a good 30 pounds heavier and a hell of a lot more athletic.
It looks like you could step on her and break her in half.
Yeah, she would wrestle circles around her, and at the same time she would just beat her senseless. And where the fuck is Tamina? We talked about this last time. Where the fuck is Tamina? God,
I have no idea.
Well, anyway.
But I was gonna mention too. You mentioned AJ Lee and Paige. They sucked in the ring together. Their matches did nothing for me, and it sucks because I was really looking forward to them when they first happened. But then I saw the first match; it wasn't good, and then I got to the point where I just wanted it to be over, and they kept doing it. Yeah. So it's like WWE with anything. They'll lead up to something, and then a specific match, and then they'll give you that match, and then they'll ruin it by not leaving it alone and just giving it to you like 4,000 or 5,000 more times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but that's just the state of the talent and the roster on the WWE. I mean, that's
they have a deeper roster than they let us know.
Nah, not really. I mean, not really. Not really. I mean, they got it, but they ain't got it.
Yeah.
You talk about never mind. We'll talk about this next time. The roster, the state of the WWE roster. We'll do that next time we talk.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic for
and we're in
different show. Last
topic. Oh shit. Within like 3 minutes, let's talk about this Bill DeMott situation. What the fuck do you think this is? Is this a Be a Star campaign come to life?
I think it is. But it's funny that you mentioned that because the same company that's if this Bill DeMott thing is true, the same company that's doing a Be a Star campaign, show tolerance and respect and all that crap and don't bully, they're letting people be bullied within their own company. So it's very contradictory to what they want you to believe. But their stance on bullying is.
But this is, the shoot by CM Punk that got cut off, the part that got cut off. This is a mainstay in the world of wrestling. From the trainers to the guys on top of the card to everyone involved. Whether you're a talent, whether you're working with the internet shit, like you take the Del Rio thing. This and so many stories about Sheamus. But of course Bill DeMott did all of this shit. Of course he did. Why he's becoming the center of attention is because someone has to take the fall. Do you know who can't take the fall? John Cena can't take the fall for something like this. Michael P.H.
Yeah.
Hayes can't take the fall for this. Even the son of a bitch that called ADR a fucking derogatory slang, he can't take a fall.
They got rid of him.
I know, but
he's no longer with the company.
But he still didn't take a fall, and he probably got did up really nice on his way out. Like, because that was...
Well, they fired him because they realized that they made themselves look like shit by not firing him prior.
Well,
because they fired him like a week after that happened.
Hey, and you know what? They could have just kept him on. It would have made a difference. They already showed their true skin. I mean, no pun intended. They showed us the whites of their eyes. No pun intended. Shit.
Yeah.
They showed us their true color. Like, in this whole situation, you fire him the hour it happened. You don't wait a week later. That's what's happening with Roger Goodell. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah. You know, like, you act now. You don't wait it out and backtrack. There's time to make everything right, but for now, protect your brand, protect your shield, and protect the integrity of the organization. And the thing with this is, like, am I surprised that this happened? Hell no. Am I surprised that it's become like this big deal and they're throwing out the word bully? It's like, dude, like, duh. Like, you guys are fucking idiots. And now, you know, who we are as today. I made a post earlier this week about the whole, like, do you do, what do you call that shit? Fuck is it called? Time hop?
No. Okay. I know what it is, but I don't do it.
Well, anyway, this week, the whole big selfie with Ellen DeGeneres.
The one that broke the internet?
Yes. You know, I made a post. It showed up because I remember posting it, and it showed back up on my time hop from a year ago. And I go, do you guys remember this happening? Of course you don't, because anything like this that happens only lasts 15 minutes of remembrance, you know? So they're going to jump down this DeMont guy for at least another, I don't know, 1-2 days. And then it's going to disappear. But it's coming in like a fucking hellstorm right now. And I go, we shouldn't even be talking about this, but it's such a big topic.
Well, the thing is, like, with this whole thing, Bill DeMott, I don't know if you know, did you watch WCW when it was
Yeah,
around?
I do remember him being
He was Hugh Morris, okay?
Yes.
And the way it comes off to me is that he is so bitter that his career didn't turn out the way that he probably wanted it to. So now he's taking it out on all these other guys and trying to hinder their success and make it so they can't make it to the main roster and make something out of their lives.
Duh.
That's what it...
Surprise, surprise! This has been going on forever.
Comes off as to me, as some bitter veteran who never did anything in the wrestling business, is just trying to take it out on the younger generation because he wasn't worth two shits when he was in the business.
But all of that aside, Nate, I'm saying that this is a constant within the world of wrestling, regardless it's him or any other trainer or any other person in power in a wrestling promotion, from the WWE down to PWG. This shit happens. It happens, and he's getting it because he's going to be made an example of because of this fucking interview that this one wrestler did. And it's like, well, do you really believe that Hugh Morris was the reason why you didn't make it in the WWE? How about you didn't make it in the WWE because you suck?
Well, and his biggest claim to fame in his career will be being the very first guy to lose to Bill Goldberg. He gave Bill Goldberg his very first win. That's his biggest claim to fame as far as I am concerned, because I can't remember anything he did within his career.
I just remember.
Besides the fact that he was there,
he was a ham and egger. That's all I can remember. Even back then as a kid, because I wasn't even a mark then. I just watching wrestling. I just like this Hugh Morris again.
Yeah.
I hated his name. I hated his look. I hated everything about him.
Laughing man.
But that aside, I don't care who he is, and I don't care that he's under this scrutiny for being like this bully. I don't care. He means nothing to me. If anything, this news getting out there is actually like doing him more favors than it is burying him. Because
I guarantee you nobody knew who he was prior to. They're like, half the people read that story and they're like, who the fuck is Bill DeMott?
Yeah. I mean, because he's a talking head normally in all the WWE stuff. I mean, he's all over the place. They use him.
The only time you've ever seen him in WWE, probably, at least the younger fans, is when you watch Tough Enough from 2011.
Yes, exactly. And if anything comes out of this, you know what this is going to be how this is going to end? How the Hugh Morris, Bill DeMott story is going to end? He's going to end up on that fucking Nine Angry Coaches show next season. Like that's how it all's gonna end up. That's he's gonna become a reality television star on that fucking show. That's actually pretty.
No, decent. He won't. If he gets released, TNA is gonna pick him up within a drop of a hat.
No, that's not gonna happen. He's gonna go to 12. I mean, I'd imagine the 12 Angry.
TNA likes all the WWE jacks.
Not anymore. They moved on from that.
It's kind of prevalent.
Well, they got Drew McIntyre now, and they got the Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay. But that's it. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the staff from that Nine Angry Coaches show has already known about this. This is big news because it's diving into the idea of concussions and medical thing yet again, and which is a sensitive topic. As of late for the athletes, you got Troy Polamalu right now who's about to be fucking cut because he's had 1 billion concussions. You got Wes Welker, but then on top of that, you have the CM Punk thing going on where, he's talking about him doing these injury-prone things, really maiming the people, and, the staff is like just letting this shit happen or what have you. He's on Nine Angry Coaches next season. I put money on it, and I don't even make bets.
Yeah,
but we're ended with that. We're definitely got enough time of talking for this podcast. Plug.
Okay, you can follow me at Headliner5, and that's the number 5, not spelled out. So that's again at Headliner5. Follow at Eyes on the Ring on Twitter, at Eyes on the Ring. Also, Elite Podcast Network, at Elite Podcast Net. Go to eyesonthering.com. I wrote, we were talking about the ROH show, the 13th anniversary show earlier. I wrote a review for that show. It's 11 and a half pages. It is over 5,000 words. So if you can read it, go ahead and do so. Also, go to darts.spreadshirt.com, pick up a shirt, and check us out on blogtalkradio.com/Elite Podcast Network. And Stitcher, you can search Elite Podcast Network. And finally, Facebook.com/Eyes on the Ring.
And Pornhub.com /headliner5. You can also check
Don't do that.
Yeah, you can also check them out. Yeah, definitely. Brazzer #. Yeah. So
Stop making fun of my plugs.
I'm not making fun of your plugs.
I'm kidding.
But yeah. And anyone who's been listening, make sure you subscribe to all those things. Follow him, and also check out Monday. Check out Monday's. Check out Wednesday's podcast of the Raw Review with Alexa Feldman. Coming up this weekend, we have a NXT review with Faster Than the World podcast, and I'm gonna start doing SmackDown reviews. So yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. No one does SmackDown reviews, so I may as well jump on it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And then
there's a couple shows, but most people do Raw. So.
And between the both of us and what we have going on in terms of podcasts is one thing, you could go to pjtwcentral.com. Share the website you can listen from Tumblr, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Do one of these things, and we will both appreciate it. for whether what he's plugging, what I'm plugging. You have to share. You have to thumbs up. You have to subscribe. You have to do all these things to be able to make sure that we're not doing this just for shits and giggles. It's a waste of our time if no one's listening, sharing and things like that. Especially YouTube people. You guys are awesome. Be sure to spread the word. Leave a comment. And even with what Nathan does, that helps us. That helps us by getting new viewers or listeners, getting new subscribers and new followers. Without you guys, we can't be doing this in the first place. So if you enjoy the content between what I do over here at PJTW and what Nathan has going on Eyes on the Ring, just be sure to spread the love as much as you possibly can.
And also, I just want to throw this in there. Even if you take issue to some of the stuff I say, follow me at Twitter. Get at me on Twitter at Headliner5 and let me know.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, and that's the point. I should disagree with you, because I don't need to always agree with everybody. I can know. Yeah. We should be able to have a decent conversation either on or offline.
What if you can have an intelligent conversation? Because that's what I appreciate. If you don't agree with something I say, then let me know about it. But have a intelligent conversation. Just don't tell me I'm a freaking idiot, because then you'll get blocked.
You don't know what you're talking about, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly. If you go about it that way, then I'll block you. But if you present yourself intelligently, then I'll have a conversation with you and then go from there. So.
All right, so we're going to wrap this motherfucker up. Again, thank you for listening. Do all the things I just said within the last minute. And next week, I'm not sure who's going to be on, who I'm going to be talking wrestling with, but I hope it's Jake's dad. We were supposed to talk Tuesday, but I kind of didn't necessarily stand him up, but I just didn't follow through. But nevertheless, on behalf of Nate, say goodbye, Nate.
See you guys next time we do this.
So yes, I'm Peter from Peter Jake Talks Wrestling. Thank you again, and we will holler at you when we see you. Peace.